Hey y'all, it's Angela here again at the Chicken Coop Homestead, and I've talked a lot about my tubs and how I make my tubs, but I've never done a video on it. I use the Hugelkulture method, but in a container, and so I wanted to show y'all how I make them. I'm doing a new tub here in my herb garden, so I thought this would be a perfect time for me to actually show y'all step by step about how I do it. Alright, so first off, these are cattle mineral tubs. They're filled with molasses to supplement the cattle in the wintertime, so you can probably get them from most cattle ranchers. We have a lot of those here in Texas, so they're easy to come by for us. Sometimes you can pay for them $3 to $5 per tub. Luckily, we have some friends that gave me a tub. Now, I drill holes on the bottom of it, but this one actually had a broken spot in the bottom. That's not a problem, but it did have a little flap on it. So I just took the flap off, and so I've got a larger hole there, and I've got some smaller holes. My husband brought me the smaller little spade bit, so the holes are kind of small. Normally, if I have a little bit bigger spade bit, like about a 1 inch or 2 inch spade bit, I only do 3 or 4 or 5, something like that, but I've got quite a few in here today. So my husband helped me kind of prepare the ground and level that off a little bit. And the first step in a Hugelkulture method is to use any kind of wood, preferably bigger chunks, but what I find for me as a female gardener, it's easier for me to handle the smaller sticks and stuff. The wind has been blowing like crazy for the last 2 days, so we have a plethora of sticks that I have to pick up anyways, so I might as well use them for some good purpose in my garden. So I'm going to put those down in here. Now the next thing I've got in here is just some old garden waste, some plants that died, what I pulled up and that kind of stuff. So I'm going to add that in here. And then of course more sticks. Now I've got a few more over there that I'm going to get together and break up and put in here. So let me go get those and I'll be right back. The other good reason to use these sticks is it fills up your tub so that you're not having to use all your good soil and compost and stuff in your tub. To kind of try to get them small, because if you have some small ones in there, they go around the spots of the big ones. Alright, so I've got all the sticks in there. Now I'm going to kind of step on it just to kind of push those sticks down and get them settled in, okay? So I've probably got about 1/3 of sticks in here. So the next thing we're going to do in the Hugelkulture method is, for me, what I do is I use horse manure. We have horses, so it's something that I can use. The sticks will rob your nitrogen out of your soil. So if I put manure right on top of the sticks, the manure kind of counteracts some of that robbing of nitrogen. It pulls from there. The sticks also act as a little bit of a reservoir for holes for the water. And the other thing is, some people, if you live in a very, very dry climate, you could do the same method, but instead of putting your holes on the bottom, you could come up about 1 inch or 2 and drill your holes in on the side, and that way you have also a little bit of a water reservoir inside your bucket. All right, so I'm going to put a 5-gallon bucket in of horse manure. This is aged horse manure. And I've talked to y'all before about horse manure, that it has a lot of seeds in there. And so that's why I put the horse manure way down in the bottom, so none of those seeds can get any light or get germinated in your horse manure. Horses only have one stomach, so they don't process out the seeds as well as like a cow that has 4 stomachs. So if you don't have horse manure, you could substitute some other kind of manure. You could substitute rabbit manure, aged chicken manure. You could do other, like if you had to buy some, you could use black cow manure. That would be a good alternative. Probably about half of a bag. You know, I used a 5-gallon bucket. This container is 30-gallon, so it takes me 6 5-gallon buckets really to fill it up. I don't have the 6th one here, but I'll tell you about it, and I'm going to go get it at the end. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put some leaves in here. These are really compressed down in here, so I may not use all of these. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my own homemade compost. I have a video about my easiest composting method. I'll try to link that here. If you don't have your own compost, you could use you know, a bagged compost if you wanted to, or bagged potting soil, but I use my compost just like a potting mix, so that's what we're using. All right, bucket number 2. Ooh, I just saw worms, so that's good compost. All right, so that is 2 buckets of compost. Now, because this is all organic material, as it decomposes, this soil is going to shrink. That's why every year, about twice a year, I top off my tubs with more compost, more organic material, and then I also layer them with a layer of mulch on top. Either leaves in the fall or wood chip mulch in the spring, or sometimes I do leaves again in the spring. So this is ready to plant in. So I'm going to go get the plants. I'm planting stevia in here, and I'm going to go get the plants to plant in here, and I'll be back. You could use mulch, bark mulch, as your compost, your dressing of compost. Or I'm going to use, since I have these leaves left over, I'm going to use them. A few little sticks in here. This compost, this leaves on top will help with water retention. It will shade the roots of the plant so that they do not get so hot and dry out so bad. And it will cut down on your weeding. And then it's just more organic material, and then in this fall when I top my tubs off, I can just top right over these leaves that will have been mulched down. So thank y'all for watching. It's just as easy as that. I used five 5-gallon buckets of material to fill up this 30-gallon tub for my raised bed garden. I'm going to water this, and thanks for visiting with me, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.